All right, all right. Okay, cool. We got another one. Gonna do a quick news rundown. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the news that people are discussing, and I want to give my perspective. My perspective as an experienced journalist, just to give you something to think about, and to to give you a different perspective because I know that a lot of people have these discussions about what's in the news, and they don't actually read the news. What they do is they discuss it with friends. They discuss it with with people on social media who also have just a piece of the picture. So I just wanted to give mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this because I want to try to do this fairly quick. I think the biggest one, and I posted about this today, the black man that they're trying to turn into a hero, who was in the Capitol, Eugene Goodman. Here's my perspective. He's not a hero. He's just a guy who was doing his thing, and when those white folks came at him, he ran. He ran instead of trying to do anything. And then luckily he turned the right way. So eventually he got to the point where he reached some other officers and he had backup. And so they were able to kind of hold him off. But them trying to create him as a hero, for me personally, is problematic because there's always a narrative of how black people are supposed to save the white people, save the nation, save the nation's establishments, save all the things that are near and dear to America. And we got to stop that because nobody's coming to save us. There's no there's no group of people anywhere who are going to save black people. So we have to stop allowing that narrative, especially now that the election is over and we already know who's going to be the president and vice president. It would be a good idea right now for black people, especially black women. Stop letting the Democratic Party tell you that black women saved the Democratic Party. That's a really bad narrative because it says a couple of things. Number one, it says that black women saved the party and black men didn't do anything. So even though both of us voted over 85% for the Democrats, everyone else was like 50% or below. But in our case, we're only 13 to 14% of the population. So there's no way that we can save anything. I mean, you can say that we came in and took everything over the top, but it's a really bad narrative for us to keep letting America, white America, say that we're saving America, and so that's why I don't think that the black guy Eugene Goodman is a hero. I don't think he saved anything. I watched the tape, and he literally was running from those white people. And I'm not one of those revisionist dudes who likes to say, "Oh, if I was there, I would have done blah blah blah." Unless I actually know. And for me, because I've been handling weapons for over 20 years, I know that if some people were chasing after me and I had the legal right to not only defend myself but to keep them back, there would have been some people shot in the goddamn face. As you can see with the white woman who ended up getting shot when she was trying to leap over with her weapons into the white cop's space, he shot her and let the rest of them know, if any of you come this far and come this way, I will shoot you too. And that's what Eugene Goodman could have done, and he would have held them back. Then he would have been a hero because he would have saved himself, he would have saved the Capitol. But if he had shot them, or at least pulled his gun and let them know, hey, look, don't play with me, I will shoot you. Because that's what I would have done. I think a real hero would have done that. He had the legal right because he's an actual officer of the law. So, yeah, so he's not a hero. We need to stop letting people say that he was a hero. It's a bad narrative for them to continue to try to pretend that we're saving the nation and saving white people. He saved the democracy. He didn't do anything. He ran because he was afraid to shoot those white people because he thought he would go to jail, which is a real fear. I'm not mad at that. If he didn't want to go to jail for shooting white people, I can't be upset and I'm not going to dog him out. I'm not going to call a brother a coward, but I'm just going to say he made a different decision that wasn't heroic. Again, I won't go as far as to call him a coward, but what he did was a far cry from being heroic. And again, we gotta stop the narrative of black people coming to save the democracy or saving white people. Preston James, what's up, my big brother? Hey, listen, if you're listening via Facebook, can you like it, and share it, like, share. Also, if you're watching via YouTube, can you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications button, that bell, so that way you'll get notified when I go live. I've got some really juicy stuff coming up this week. I'm going to do another Black Top 10, and this one will be top 10 reasons why you're single. No, not just ladies, but it'll be targeted. Some at ladies, some at men, but I'm going to do a Black Top 10 reasons why a lot of single people are single. And then I got a really good one coming up. My friend Dathan O'Banion is going to join me on Sunday, and we're going to talk about why Black Lives Matter, the organization, is problematic. Black Lives Matter, the movement, was before the organization and still exists. The movement is on point and solid, but that organization is problematic, and we're going to tell you why. So we got some juicy stuff coming up this week. So go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Bridge, and hit the notification bell. Go ahead and like and share on Facebook. So that was my first one. Eugene Goodman is not a hero, and I just want to kind of make that clear. I also want to give my perspective on what's going on as far as the impeachment of Donald Trump. So the House went ahead and voted to impeach him. But here's the problem. There's a couple of problems. Number one, the biggest problem is that Mitch is still running the Senate, and he's already said that there's going to be no movement as far as impeachment is concerned in the Senate. The other big problem is that there's only a few days left. I mean, look, it's the 20th, which is next week. That a week from today, it's the 20th. Biden and Harris get inaugurated, so Trump becomes a non-issue. I mean, I understand that there's some things to gain if, in fact, he were to be impeached. Number one, he wouldn't be able to run for office again. Number two, he would lose a lot of the trinkets and trash that you get from being an ex-president, including travel stipends, Secret Service, perpetual salary. So there's a lot that he would lose, and that's cool, but it's just not. I don't believe it's going to pass through the Senate. So the thing is that these things have to go through the House and then the Senate, and just because it sailed through the House doesn't mean anything. Ricardo Love, what's up, brother? How are you? Said tag me on the single one. Okay, cool. I'll definitely be sure to tag you. I'm probably going to do that one tomorrow on the top 10 reasons why you're single. Another thing that's probably not going to go through, so you guys can relax, not going to go through the Senate, is this whole stimulus package at $2,000. I really I need you guys to relax. The 600 is going out. You'll get your 600. It should also be 600 per child. So some of you will get 12, 18, whatever. You're getting your 600. The 2,000 again. Mitch, the bitch, is not gonna let that pass. Just relax. We'll have a whole new administration in 7 days. And I think that the Biden Harris administration, I think they understand economics. So I think they understand, because everybody's Republican and Democratic. Democrats are beholden to big businesses, and they're also beholden to the country, the economy, wanting it to boom again. And I think that they're pretty clear. The only way for the economy to kind of get back on point is to get this virus under control, and they have a pretty good plan for that. The other component of that is to get the economy under control, because we're losing jobs now. A lot of people are in trouble and doing really, really bad, and throwing 600 at them is like throwing a sponge to someone who's in a boat that's sinking. And so I think probably what's going to happen is we'll definitely get to 2,000. I think that Biden Harris are also going to try to push through some kind of measure to make sure that we get a stimulus every month, so that the economy, because we already know what people are going to do. Stop saying black people do this, that, and the third. We do a lot of stuff foolishly financially, but everybody does, black, white, and otherwise. And I think everyone knows if we get $2,000 a month, most people aren't going to be saving it. Let's just say that $2,000 a month is going to go to a lot of spending, and that will stimulate the economy. It'll go, especially if the economy starts to open back up, because the vaccine allows us to grow herd immunity. So yeah, so don't expect right now for the stimulus package to pass. Just hold on and wait until Biden and Harris get in, and then we'll see what's happening. The other thing I wanted to talk about, around the country, there are a lot of school districts, states, and other entities who are saying that children won't be able to go back to school unless they have a mandatory vaccine. So now people are like, "Oh, I told you it was mandatory. Oh my God." Well, see, here's the thing. In order for them to go back to school, something different has to happen. And that something different is the vaccine or herd immunity, which can happen with the vaccine. So here's what's going to happen, what I think. They're going to give, because they started it this way and then go into it, they're going to give you choices. So they won't just say, it's March 15th, get your kids back in school. Some places may, but I think for the most part, they'll say, if you want your kids to come back to school, you can, because we've reached XX level of infection, X level of, as far as the death rate is concerned. So I think they'll give you a choice. Your kids can come to school, or they could go to have a hybrid situation where they're in school partially and still homeschooled partially. But they'll also probably have an option where you continue to do the distance learning. But I think by August, September, I think we'll be at a point, if the vaccines roll out the way I think that they will, I think that we'll be at the point where we can actually start to bring open a lot of stuff, including schools. And so some kids will be vaccinated and they'll be there, or if it's mandatory, some kids will have to still do distance learning, but it's not a situation where they're going to give you a deadline, March or April, get your kids in here and they must be vaccinated. That's not happening. So just kind of calm down and wait and see what's going on. So let's talk about a couple of things as far as social media is concerned. First and foremost, we know that Twitter, who else did it? Twitter, Facebook, um, Instagram, a number of social media have banned the president. And so people are clapping, and yeah, I'm clapping too. That's cool, because I just want him to shut his ass up. I just don't want to hear anything else from him. But here's the problem, though. What should have happened is that some government entity, meaning either well, of course, not the executive, that's Trump, but the legislative branch or the judicial branch, that's where this should have come from. Maybe the attorney general. It should have been a government entity that told the social media outlets, you need to ban this account, President Trump. The problem with the social media accounts, outlets doing it, is that these pieces of shit are wildly out of control. They ban, and I mean, if you're black, particularly if you're a black person who speaks out, who speaks for black people, then you know that the social media outlets will target you. And so they're already heavy handed with who they're banning. So we have to be careful with jumping on the bandwagon of them banning people that we don't like because we don't like them. So yeah, they banned Trump. That's a good thing, because we want his ass to shut his ass up. But at the same time, that's giving them a lot of power, which they've already been abusing. I mean, this in 2020 alone, I think I was given probably at least 6 30-day sentences, because I'm being targeted now. So every time I get hit, I get 30 days. I don't get 24, 48 hours, 7 days. I get 30 days because I'm being targeted. The last time, I know those sons of bitches, I was able to prove it clearly because someone made a comment. I literally quoted their comment in my comment. I got booted 30 days. Their comment, the original text, still remains to this day. So let's be careful about cheering the social media outlets, cheering them on to because they're banning President Trump, or maybe they ban someone else that you don't like. It's really a slippery slope, and I think it's a violation of free speech because they really don't. Look, let me just say this. I'm not an attorney, but I'm going to say this because I've discussed it with attorneys. It becomes a free speech issue if there is a forum and some people are allowed to say something, other people are not allowed to say it and are punished for it. It becomes a free speech issue. So let's be cool, let's be careful as far as social media is concerned. The other thing that we should pay attention to is this whole notion of impeachment. It's more than likely not going to happen. Again, the House of Representatives can say yes, we're going to impeach him, but when they send it to the Senate is probably going to acquit because for the next few days, Mitch the bitch is still on duty, and that's just where he's at. He's distancing himself from Trump like a lot of people because he knows that right now Trump is looking for any way to hang on, any way to, overthrow any portion of the government because that bitch knows he's going to jail. So, but let's be cool and not get all excited as far as impeachment is concerned because there's a whole lot of moving parts in there, and we got to be careful. So those are the news items that I just wanted to go through and give my perspective. I hope that's like helpful for a lot of the discussions that people are having on social media. So if you can subscribe to The Bridge, my YouTube channel, and then hit the notifications bell. Also on Facebook, if you can please like it and share it, kind of help me spread my message, especially when I start getting to some of the really, really juicy stuff. I hear you, Ricardo, that singles piece, the top 10 reasons why you're single, that's going to be fire. And so a lot of these things that I'm going to be covering are things that I covered when I did my nationally syndicated column. I had 30 outlets across the country, and every week I wrote a different piece. So I'm definitely gonna make that happen. G. Williamson, what's up, Greg? How are you, brother? He said, banning Joe and Schmo with no kind of influence is different than a person who holds a federal office like the president, inciting an insurrection who has a following of millions. I'm not. That's not my point. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not saying that Trump should not have been banned. I'm saying that he should not have been banned by the social media companies. That is dangerous because they already have too much power to abridge people's free speech. This is a free freedom of speech issue. That banning the president, I agree with you. The president was inciting an insurrection. You're absolutely right, and he does have a huge following. But let's be clear, that should have been a legal mandate from one of our governing entities, whether it's legislative or judicial. That should not be coming from, because again, Greg, if we continue to allow these social media outlets to just wake up and decide, oh, this person should go and this person should go. I don't like Denzel Washington. Ban that motherfucker. I don't like whoever. I don't like that show Grey's Anatomy. So that lady who stars, ban that motherfucker. That's the problem. So banning Joe and Schmo with no kind of influence is not different from a person who holds a federal office when it comes to who actually does it. It should not have come from those entities because it gives them, it already bolsters power that they have that they should not have. And so again, that should have come through some kind of legal avenue to make it make sense. Yeah, those tech companies are coming under a monopoly microscope now, and they should be. I mean, Facebook is huge and it's beautiful. People love it. Social media in general, people love it. It works for us. But when it doesn't work for us, it doesn't work for us. And if you're a black person who speaks up, look, as far as the N word, you've got white supremacists who are on Facebook throwing the N word around all day. and they mean it. They don't mean homie, but if I use it, I get banned. That's a problem. Something's wrong with that. So we got to have I know Facebook owns Instagram, it's the same company. So we got to have a situation where, which is why it's a problem. It's huge. So we got to have a situation where we start to look at them and we start to try to figure out ways to put the reins on them because they're just wildly out of control and they're just doing too much and they're hurting people. Look, during a pandemic where people can't go and see their loved ones, people were counting on social media, but they were getting booted off social media because these racist motherfuckers were targeting, particularly, I don't care who else they're targeting, but targeting African Americans. That's a problem. And so that's why I'm suggesting that we not get too excited and roll with the whole thing of them banning the president, because if they can ban the president, then they can do even worse shit to the rest of us. And that's my point. We have to really, really be careful and not just cheer them banning Trump, because in a few days that bitch is out anyway. So, but what if Biden and Harris come in? They don't like Harris's outfit. We don't like her shoes. Ban that bitch. You know what I'm saying? We have to really, really be careful with who we put all of this power to abridge our freedom of speech. Because once you abridge one right, now you start to abridge other rights, and that becomes a problem. So, but thanks for your perspective, though, Greg. That's dope, and I appreciate that. Go ahead again on Facebook. If you can like this and share this, that would be a great situation for me. I'd appreciate it. And on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, The Bridge, and hit the notifications bell. I'm finished with my website, so I'm going to start posting content, written content on the website for people to read and react to. I'm also going to create The Bridge on social media for people to interact with and to read. So I'll do written content in addition to continuing to do these. And like I said, probably tomorrow, Ricardo, I'll go ahead and do that Black Top 10, the top 10 reasons why people are single. And I think I'll tease it tonight. So I'll set a time for tomorrow. I'll tease it tonight with one of the major reasons so people can start to discuss it and curse me out. Anyway, thanks to everybody who's watching it now and who's going to watch it later. And I'm trying to do go earlier. So I think tomorrow when I do the Black Top 10, I think I'll do it about 5 o'clock. I also got some really good stuff coming up. I have a credit expert who's going to start to give you. I'm going to start to give you real information. A credit expert who's a published author who's going to give you information, just the basics initially, but then answer questions about your credit, because most of us do not understand how credit works, and it's really not that complicated. The basics aren't anyway. I'm also going to have an herbalist who's going to come on and talk about two things: boosting your immunity so during this time. You really want to be as as tough as possible for the flu, for COVID, or anything else, so that even if you get COVID, you'll be a little stronger. He'll also talk about if you get COVID, what you can do. The basic thing is, before you do anything else, is to do a big cleanse, which I'm about to do, and it ain't fun, but I've done it with him before. He's dope as hell. So anyway, I got a lot of good stuff coming up. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, and like and share this this video on Facebook, and then I'm going to start the bridge on Facebook and Instagram, so that we can interact even outside of these. So thank you. Hope you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk later. It's Daryl James, and this is the Bridge, baby.